go too much on the transactions and all that because they already doing it.
Yeah, right. So may I know in which area also you're working right at the moment? Because I understand the role of Nadisha and Srikant currently as a business process users, right? So there are modules like AP, AR, GL. So in which area are they working at the moment?
Yeah, Nadisha is more into controlling part, the
Oh,
product costing,
oh,
order management and all that. That mainly the operational finance or controlling part, Nadisha, but Karth is more into finance. But Nadisha also have enough experience in the APAR, GL and all that.
okay.
But Karth is not, Srikanth is not very much onto controlling side.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I think we are covering both finance as well
Yeah.
as controlling. And yes, as you correctly mentioned, right, because we are aiming to be a consultant near future. So I will keep on the configuration area and how it impacts your transactions. That will also show it so that when they go through those transactions, they know that why what is happening, right? Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Chandimal. Nadisha, Srikanti, welcome to the training. How about you? We also see few more participants. So Siva, Vishta, and Tabish. You want to introduce yourselves?
Yes, Benita, Tabish, you are, can you able to hear me, Tabish?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead, Tabish.
Yeah, I am chartered accountant and working in a textile company.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, we are using Oracle. So I want to learn something about SAP to be more competitive and uh, for better opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Tabish. Yeah, so good to know that. So you're using Oracle Fusion at the moment,
Yes.
or okay, okay, got it. Yeah, actually, this is also used in industries, and I think previously SAP was also using Oracle database, but in the HANA, right, they have moved from Oracle database into HANA database. And yeah, there are advantages as well as pros and cons for both ERP systems. Maybe if there be time, I will also take you through what are the key differences in the approaches also later on.
Okay. Yeah, Benita, you there, Benita?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please go with your introduction. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good morning. My name is Benita, and I am a postgraduate in commerce, and I am semi-qualified cost accountant. Actually, there is a gap in my resume for almost 7 years, and I want to restart my career. So I wanted to join this course.
Okay, welcome to the course, Vinita. Yeah, I think coming back to the topic that you have selected, I think SAP Finance is something which is used by all organizations, right, irrespective of which industry you are in. And since you have a commerce background, right, I think it will be easier for you to understand the transactions, and also when you go through the config, it will make more sense. So I think it's a good selection on the course. Yeah, thanks for joining. So Shiva Vishnu, right?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Good morning, sir. My name is Shiva Vishnu.
Mhm. And your interest and background, why you wanted to take this course?
Yeah, I'm recently commerce become graduated, so I'm always interested to come for a SAP course. So that's why I'm interested to come this course.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I think you also have then a finance that will be good, so you will be able to grasp it quite quickly. So welcome to the course. And how about
Okay.
Madhava? Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, Madhav is also part of our team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, part of our team, and he's very new to finance basically.
Oh, okay.
Right. So anyway, that our team members will support him with the finance point of view and the other transactions.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he's kind of a data analyst kind of thing, some IT from IT background.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a very good thing. So we have a good mix of profiles, right, in the training. So I think we have few of the users who have background in both SAP finance and controlling, but they want to know about how to do the configuration and how to contribute as a consultant and configure the various scenarios. We have few of them who are kind of doing the graduation, right, and they want to also enter into this technology landscape, right, and SAP's like it's SAP Finance they want to learn. So we have Tabish who is currently using Oracle Fusion for the finance. So I think it's also good to get both sides of the coin and also learn the other ERP, so we are not dependent on one technology. And yeah, so I think thanks everyone for your time and for joining this particular demo session for this training, which will be scheduled subsequently. Yeah, so I think we will be going today, right? I will go through the demo slide, right, which we have from ExpertSoft, right, and then I will also kind of show you about the basic login characteristic like the SAP login and in S4 HANA, right? We have PC, Fiori logins and also like what are the key things that we need to look out for when we are configuring our SAP GUI client that I will go through with all of you, right? Okay, so let me go to the presentation mode so that all of you can see. So the module that we will be studying is the financials in S4 HANA, and and these are like whatever you see these numbers, right, which have been mentioned. So these are the book, like when we enroll for any SAP training, right, so they give certain book codes, right? So S4F00 and S4F01 or 20 for the business process. So we will be covering mainly two books, S4F00 and S4F01, and these are also different submodules that we have. Our objective will be to become a SAP certified application associate, right? So and with the version 20. So that is our end goal. Yeah, that is our end goal that we are aiming for. So so we will study all these modules and submodules in the SAP Finance, and then first we will focus on the Financial Accounting Associate certification, and we have a Management Accounting Associate certification for the same version, right? So as you already know, right, now SAP is one of the most prominent ERP that has been prevalent in the industry, and it is not only popular with some industries but across industries, like be it banking and finance, or manufacturing, or the service sector, or high-end technology, or maybe here. In all the cases, I think it is very popular, and there are certain reasons for that also. So the adoption of technology in SAP is very fast, right? And you will when you see the news, right, you will come to know it has tied up with Apple for the app development, and also it has bought in their various products, very similar to Oracle also, where Oracle has been constantly expanding, right? So kind of acquire different software like companies like JD Adverse, PPL Soft, all those, right? So I think apart from that, right, recently there has been a lot of investment by SAP, right, on the IoT, as well as like machine learning and AI related stuff. Also, like let's say we talk about OCRs, the kind of predictive analytics, all those things also has been kind of they have made certain progresses on those topics in its all software packages, right? So kind of so just to give a crux of it is SAP is the leading ERP software. What is ERP and all those things we will come through also, and also the adoption of the advancement in the technologies has been done very quickly by SAP, and there are new tools also which supports the business process automation or review with like SAP Signavio and all, which has been introduced by SAP as well. So I think one of the main reasons you will see recently, right, whenever we look into the projects which are being done in the world of SAP, right, there are few patterns that we see. One is movement from ECC to S4 HANA is one, right? Movement from on premises to S4 HANA Rise, it's another one, right? And there are different reasons for that. For each of these types, why we are doing and when we are doing, these are also very important, right? So, yeah, first of all, we want to make so I think one of the main reasons, right, why we are moving to the S4 HANA, right? One reason will be right. It is a very kind of integrated modular structure, and uh, and the processing is quite fast and quite robust, right? So that is one of the key factors. The next is the scalability, because any business you go through, right, you to know how scalable is this, right? Whether maybe, right, let's say I give you one example. Let's say we have subscribed to 9 terabytes of data. Now we are expanding geographically, and maybe different lines of business are being introduced, right? So let's say you oversee that it might increase drastically over the next few years. So how you can scale this, right? So you can shift from on-premises to cloud, right? So where your growth can be suitably managed by incremental in the storage as well as the memory. So how do you do that? That can be that can be done. So that is the reason for all those companies which are on the cloud, right? Whether it be public cloud, private cloud, or RISE managed by SAP, all these things are different topics altogether. So we will, yeah, I would like to give some background later on, but only if time permits, right? Then I think SAP works on like in memory database, right? And we have optimized cache, which means, right, for example, all those you might have all seen kind of different sports and different telecasts, right? For example, the Cricket World Cup, or maybe some those there are different statistics which were flashed on the screen and which could be taken through, right? So I think that using the SAP analytics at the back end, right? And the processing time, right? So they have a lot of embedded analytics which are being used in SAP, which uses the cache memory and also displays like the figures which matters on the go, right? So when we use the theory, we will try to see how those are being done in SAP also. Yeah, and movement to the cloud again, yeah, it's a big thing. So there are different aspects of it, and there are different considerations for each company to do this also. So yeah, we will try to cover a little bit of this so that when you go for your like serve your clients, at least you know the basic background on each of, right? So yeah, so this is kind of a diagram which tells us what are the trade-offs and how the companies choose between the different software and all these things, right? So, before going into much details around it, right, I also wanted to kind of maybe mention how SAP has evolved over the time. Previously, right, we were using the older versions like SAP R1, then R2, and then R3, right? So these are different product names which was given. R3 means like it's a three-tier architecture. So uh, we have application server, presentation server, database, right? how do we how do you decode these terms, right? Let's say we try to analyze your computer, right? So in your computer you have some kind of applications, let's say Microsoft Word, which is installed, right? And then you will store all your Microsoft Word document, C drive or D drive, so that's also the database. and the screen on which you work, right? So you can either use your tablet where you have, or you can use your laptop, right? So where you display or work with the applications that you have installed, right? So that serves as a presentation server, like maybe there's a presentation layer. Then your application is your Microsoft Word, and stores all the Microsoft Word documents. So this is like a small analogy that I tried to build up, right, when I talk about the SAP R3. After the SAP R3, right, the problem that SAP had was like it was kind of because the main thing that business wants is they do not want to invest on multiple software like if they try to code vendors, right, to purchase the same things, it becomes a bit difficult to manage everything, right? So what SAP used to do is they used to kind of connect the different components, right, and then it rolled out the version of SAP ECC, right? So they have a core module and add-ons which could be easily added into the SAP, right? So it was a control component which was introduced, right? So that means it used to integrate with more and more companies and more software providers, right, in the ECC phase. Then afterwards, right, SAP realized that it has been like its software is very much dependent on database, which was Oracle in the past, right? So it moved away from Oracle and it introduced its own database, which is known as the SAP HANA database. But obviously, like won't subscribe to the new database until and unless it has a few advantages, right? So SAP HANA database, right? It came up with a promise that it will be it will move out the redundancy in the data structure. It will also have the in-memory database so that the fetching of the reports are much faster. That's why the adoption rate of this S4 HANA Finance using the HANA database has been quite fast. And more companies are like who are looking at the embedded analytics uh, and also they need to churn out the reports faster during the month end or the year end, right? They are looking into the S4 HANA Finance as the probable solution. And again, right, each software comes with the version upgrades and everything, and there are reasons for that also. So, for example, one of the reasons I told you before was it onto different components with the other application providers are also offering. For example, SAP tied up with OpenText, right, for the invoice capture and as well as the workflows for the vendor invoice management, right? So those were something. Then it also tied up with SAP Ariba for the procurement management, for the billing and revenue. It tied up with Hybris and SAP Concur for the employee expenses and reimbursement, right? So you can see that, you can see that is first moving to cloud and on-premise. This was the initial offering. Then it tied up with different products over here. Then it expanded its portfolio, and now it is like this is even a smaller one in the 2023, like the integrations and the tie-offs which they have, right? It is quite big. So what SAP used to do is every like generally there are budgeting meetings and they try to figure out, right, what are the new adoptions or new advancement which they have to embrace. And you would have realized it initially the rollouts were done in the month of October or the month of November, right? From the year 2017, right? It used to do this upgrade every September. So that's why you see it's 1709, then 1809, then 1909. And then again, it removes the time period over here. So then it became 2020, 2021. Then now it's a 2023 which we are in, right? So it is rolling out by year. For 2024, they have not rolled out yet. So the latest version of SAP is at the moment 2023 that we are using. Okay. Any questions till now? This part. No, right? Okay, so the few areas, right, where we have focused is, right. First of all, they are pushing everybody to go on to the RISE, which is the like SAP. Like for example, it's just like we have bought a huge infrastructure. So SAP has tied up with the cloud providers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, everybody, right? Data space, right? So now what they're telling is customers, you can onboard the data space that we have bought. We will be securing that for you. The only thing is there won't be any risk for you to manage any database failures or something, because we will be having kind of a very secure like there will be kind different protocols and the conditions which will be maintained by SAP, and you will be operating in a very secure environment, and they will be using all this scalers, right? Hyperscalers means like these are tools which are used to scale at your own pace, and there is no limit to this, right? So like AWS and Microsoft Azure, they are very well-known cloud service providers. So they're tapping onto their technology and buying their storage space and leasing out to the customer. So that is all about the SAP RISE. So that's why you can see there are deployment options with SAP, like either it can be on-premises or cloud, right? Then it also, I think, it's promoting web-based user experience. That means you will be seeing most of the users who are using S4HANA, they will be on Fiori tiles. So it's previously we were all users as well as the consultants, right? We were all on the SAP GUI, but moving forward, they are promoting the use of the Fiori tiles more and more, because there are more advantages take through, and they are trying to reduce the interaction of the users with unnecessary things, right, which do not matter to them. For example, trying to limit whenever they click on a Fury tile, right? The number of interaction is limited to 3 clicks. So that is something they call this as a footprint reduction, right? And then how the tiles are created, how those are configured. So this also is very flexible, so which can be easily done and worked out, right? And it does not kind of cover your or like the accounting department or the journal entry or maybe accounts payable AR. Like each and every department in your organization will be using your this S4 HANA Finance, right? And for example, right, as we see here, even for access management and having different tools, integrations with SailPoint, GRC governance, all these things are there. Then you have signal sign-on, the access monitoring, data loss and data protection, and all those things are also here. Then different kind of risk compliance measures are also embedded into SAP, right? And then you have the standard modules also intended for a use by wider population in your organization. So if we try to see now, right, like any of your organizational members or the verticals, right, will be using this S4 HANA Finance for different reasons at the moment. So it has been a very popular kind of tool across your organization. But how they allocate the user licenses, that has also changed, right? For example, for the finance users, they call it as full user equivalent, like as one license. So the finance users use 0.75 of the full user equivalent. Then only the inventory users, like those using code and SD, they will be consuming 0.5. And there are different rules how they allocate it. So the business can also save on the cost when they decide which are the users they need to buy and how many. So now in this, right, so these are different sales pitch which SAP generally has whenever they try to sell a new product. It's same across different organizations also. So for example, they promise that they provide and planning analysis, which is true, because I think they have different forecasting tools as well as different analytic tools which they have brought in through this S4 HANA, right? For the month end closing, SAP had the schedule manager earlier, then they upgraded to the closing cockpit, right? And rolling out different versions of this closing cockpit also, but there are still challenges, and it is not optimized yet, I would say. But yes, some processes are closing faster than it was earlier, right? And yeah, in the TRM module, right, they have this forecasting one flow tool which has also been introduced. So those are also kind of where they are having a positive impact. And same way for your collection management and all those module has been also enhanced quite a fair bit in the newer versions. So I think that impacts positively your financial operations as well as treasury. Right, these two. And yeah, as more and more I think security compliance and data compliance, these are coming up very as very strong pillars in any organization. So I think the governance model has also kind of expanded in the newer versions of SAP S4HANA. But we will not go deeper into that. We will stick to our topic of discussion, which is S4HANA Finance. Okay. Everybody is kind of this is a known fact for everybody that they are in SAP S4 HANA. We are talking about the universal journal table. One of the main reason which I tries to reduce your redundancy. So keeping multiple tables for the same purpose and slowing down the speed does not make sense. So that's the reason I think they had introduced the universal journal table, and it has different kind of. So that means wherever you are seeing controlling data, or you are seeing in the controlling, there is a planning, budgeting, and actuals, right? And then even in your finance, right, whether a sub ledger data or general ledger data, right, all those comes in your universal journal table. So the reconciliation between the different sub modules kind of is reduced, and it's kind of it's much simpler in the SAP S4 HANA Finance environment. And at the same time, right, the volume of the table definitely becomes bigger and bigger because you are storing multiple data at one place. But again, there are ways how you can kind of optimize the memory usage, and also how to only ensure that whatever data is not required, you can either put a concept of data aging on them, or you can do archival of the data. I will also touch upon that, right? Maybe just a part of the training content, so that at least, because this is one of the primary issues that every business is facing at the moment using SAP, right? Once they move on to this SCDOCA, how do they manage the memory and the database usage, right? I will touch upon that in the course of my. Okay, so now I think I have talked about the different options like on-premise and the cloud. So here it is. You can see, so you can have a on-premise system, right? And then you can have your S4 HANA on cloud. It can be a public cloud, which means you have SAP rolls out with the latest version. You have to adopt that, and you will follow always the standard business process, so there will be no deviations which will be there in your implementation of this S4HANA Finance, right? And you will be mostly using this as a software as an application. So here it is not the software at service, right? Because you are using the public version of the SAP software, right? And yeah, but in the single tenant, right, what we are doing is like you have a dedicated space, like not only you have the login and the credential which is protecting this, but your cloud is owned only by you, and you need not kind of go upgrades at this frequently like the SAP public one. But yes, so it is flexible, but at the same time SAP also, like, it is not that say we can still be on 1809 version of the SAP, which is much older, right? So SAP also has its life cycle. So because like let's imagine you support a 5-year-old product, right? So there will be some problems which you have already rectified in the newer versions, right? So SAP won't spend much time on the older versions, because all those has been already rectified in the newer version. So every 5 years they encourage the client to upgrade their SAP versions to the latest one, and they also give kind of a 2 years timeline in case the adoption rate is a bit slower. But you will realize previously those upgrade projects, right, that used to last for approximately 6 to 8 months, but now with SAP S4HANA, right, it is typically 3 to 4 months upgrade that we are looking at, right? And then I think you have kind of my SAP S4 HANA in yeah, like which is quite I would say the most this is the Rise platform which I was telling that SAP has bought the place in the cloud and then to use. So in the database or the hyperscalers will be managed by SAP, right? So this is the different cloud deployment options which are there, right? So again, so this is not for S4 HANA, but it gives you a better understanding of how the different products which SAP sells. The one that we are using, right, and we for our training, it's kind of on premises in the 20 using the 2023 version. So I had talked about the Fury. So yes, which is a web-based application. It's just like any app in your mobile, right? So for example, let's say you want to view your bank statement. What do? You log in through your the e-statements and download it, right? Same with Fury also provides like a step-by-step, but it limits the user interaction to 3 clicks. So it is a rule-based, it is adaptive, right? And it is very simple to use, and also it is quite integrated and coherent. And at the same time, since the user is having minimum interaction, so they have less things to bother about, it offers a better user experience with this Fury. Okay, so again, the things that we will be studying in our course is mostly the transactional, where my course is not about the embedded analytics and the fact sheets which are there. But if for some of the transactions, I will show you the analytic abilities that Fiori already offers you, so that you need not execute the report, but at one glance you can see it through in this graphical manner, and it will be much easier for business to comprehend their output, right? Yeah, so this is just a quick visual of the Fiori launchpad. So you can see these are all the analytic numbers which has come up, right? How many nodes, what is the percentage between the actual and the target, whether it is 100 target or over target. So all those things can be there in the embedded analytics, right? Okay, so now what we will do is I will kind of guide you through our SAP. So you can see previously when we were using the ECC, right, we were always logging in through the front end SAP GUI. Now you have the option to also use the business client, right? What does this business client mean? It's very similar to your SAP GUI only. So you can see all these connections appearing over here, right? For example, these are all your connections. But the good thing about this is, right, you can also like if there is if it's on cloud, right, so you can there is option where you can navigate directly to the web link or the public domain link, right, from this NWVC to access the cloud environment. So here, as I told you, we are using on premises S4 HANA. So we have so this is the domain name that we are using for our purpose. I think everybody will receive the have the SAP login also, right, Naveen? So everybody will be getting a SAP login from ExpertSoft. Is this correct? All the students, or they will be using their own? Yeah, we will clarify that with the ExpertSoft team also later on, how the access will be provided. So this is about your SAP 2023 version. You can see we are using 2023 version of SAP. And we will be using this to log in. So where you can check the version and everything. Oh, it's already there. Yeah, I have opened this through a GUI. So as I told, we can open it either via GUI or we can open it through the MWBC. So you can go to your status here and see the application version. So what you are doing is, this is your SAP Easy Access template. Let me close this. This the first screen that you see over here is your SAP Easy Access, right? Why you see favorites? Because those users who are kind of using some T codes on a regular basis, they try to add this as a favorite. We have not gone to the SAP Fury Launchpad, so we are just using the SAP GUI for our accessing this system. What I did was, if I want to see which version are we in, so you can go to status, right? So under the status, right, you will be able to see the product version here. So here you can see there are different kind of products there, and the one which I wanted to show is S4HANA Finance. Yeah. Should be there. There is also, there should be something like a S4HANA Finance also here. No problem, I think. Yeah, so what you're mentioning is you have, okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, so you can see it is a 2023 version which has been installed, this one. And you also have the Fiori access as well as the ABAP platform which has been enabled, right? And there are service packs. Service pack means, like, for example, 23, right? You will have service pack 1, service pack 2, and all those things, right? So those will be there. And apart from that, apart from the basic production product version, there can be additional components. Like, for example, if you are in the IS oil, or you are, if you can here use IS healthcare, all those things can be also enabled. So yeah, quite a good product that is like we are using for our training. So it's yeah, thanks to the experts of team for providing this, right? So yeah, so I think since it's our demo class, right, I won't go very deep into the all the training contents and all, because it will break the continuity also of this. So once we start on the classes, right, maybe I will come up with a plan about what are the topics that we will cover in which days, so that you know what you can expect in each class, right? Okay. One thing which I was telling, I will also let you go through all this exercises, because I think it's important that when we learn this, right, at least we try this also at our end. So I will go through these exercises with you so that you can try out this in your access. And then if you have faced any problems, you can definitely bring it to me, right, in the next class, right? So the pattern, we will have weekdays class, I guess. So over the weekdays, let's say 4 days in a week, we do the class, and then you do the exercises over the weekend, and then come back with your queries. You can send me an email or share that with experts of, then I can address your queries in the next week classes. Okay, that's all then I had to show to you in the first demo session. Yeah, so any questions, any suggestions for me? How, what are, maybe if something you are not expecting or it can be improved in this session, let me know. Yeah, I think we will be starting somewhere in September. Is that right, Navi?
If everyone is fine, we'll start from Monday or Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I am traveling and I will be back on the 2nd September. So is it okay if we
Okay,
try?
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Fine, fine, fine. No problem. We'll start. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for your time, and thanks Naveen and the experts of team for
Sure.
just
Any other queries from anyone? Shandimal, Tabish, Nandisha. Is there anyone? Can anyone respond, please?
Yes, I am here. Currently, I don't have any query.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, great then. Okay.
okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your time.
Thanks, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.